Okay, so now we're moving on to Sicha number 32. We're going to talk about Emunah. This one is a little long. But faith, Emunah is a big topic by Rebbe Nachman. It says like this, that a person, we have to strengthen ourselves in Emunah, in faith, without any chakiras, any speculation, philosophy at all. Rebbe Nachman was very against philosophy, especially in his day. He was battling the Enlightenment movement, the Maskilim. Right? They brought all their shtos, and it was a big thing. And he said that there's going to be a lot of apikorsis, heresy, and things like this coming in the next generation, which I think is not even our generation anymore. It's the previous one. There's a lot more. Now it's really desire, taiva. But there are some people that still pretend to be philosophers and pretend to have questions. They really just have questions. They really don't want answers to their questions. They just have questions to be an excuse. Their question is their answer, why they don't have to keep anything. But so he said it's very important to strengthen ourselves into faith and not to have any speculation without to look into a blila ayin klal b'svarim shel achakrim, and not to look at all into any philosophy books. Just to believe in Hashem, have faith, to believe in Hashem, without any speculation, philosophy at all. He's not necessarily saying have blind faith, but not like, I don't know, specifically, philosophical things. If a person has, we grow up not knowing certain things, it's okay to have questions. You're supposed to have questions. You can ask questions. But you still have emunah. You can know something is right and just not understand something. Okay, that's fine. But to have a question and base, I don't do anything because I have that question. I don't understand why there was a Holocaust and how Hashem could let so many people die, and therefore I'm not going to keep anything. I'm not going to be from. I'm mad at God. So that person doesn't really want an answer. They just want to use that as an excuse. It's another thing to feel bad. I feel bad that the Holocaust happened. I feel bad people died. I don't understand it. And I hopefully I'll get an answer one day. But I still believe in Hashem, and I believe in the world, and this is what I'm doing. But I still have that question, but I'm not going to let it take away from my serving Hashem. Even though it may seem to us, like I said, this is me, it may seem to us that there's not a lot of people into philosophy and speculation. Really, many people are involved in this. Because really each person has their philosophies and chakiras and speculations. Even young children, he says, they get in their thoughts, some chakirus, some type of thoughts and confusing things. They have weird theories about what's going on. If you just think to yourself, even if you weren't religious, I still remember when I was a little kid, think to yourself what you thought about God. What did God look like to you? Right? Because we talk about God, it's in the movies, it's in cartoons, so even someone, little kids. So just try and think about how you thought about Hashem when you were a kid, right? People even now, people still have their ideas. A big man with a beard sitting on a throne, who knows what, the devil with a pitchfork, whatever people think about. People have weird ideas. So it might not be deep philosophy like Aristotle and Plato and Socrates, but people have their own theories about things, about the afterlife, about karma, who knows what, right? So many people do have these things. But the truth is, each person should be very careful and distance himself from these things, from their heart, throw them away completely. Not God forbid, to have any speculations at all. Any theories at all. Rak lahamin b'Hashem. Just believe in God. Simple faith. Believe in Hashem. But tzaddikim, amitim, and in the true tzaddikim, be'amunah levad, just in faith, without any philosophies. Ki kvar zechinu lekabel Torah, because we already merited to receive the Torah. Al yidei Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom, through Moshe Rabbeinu. V'kvar ha'elanu tzadikim rabim gedolim v'norim b'chol dor v'dor for elanu nismach aleim. We had Moshe, we had the prophets, we had so many people, and it's fitting we should just rely on them. Right? I was just telling somebody today, what's the world population?
7.5 billion.
7.5 billion, about, okay. How many people, how many are Jewish? About 0.1%, right? 0.1%. Okay. How many are Christians?
1.8. I think it's 1.5 billion.
1.5 billion. How many Muslims?
1.8.
1.8. So, most of those 1.8 billion and 1 point whatever. Okay, so over 2.5 billion people believe what? Because based to Christianity and Muslim, they both believe that we stood at Mount Sinai, that the Jews were at Mount Sinai and received the Torah, right?
Yeah.
So a Jew to argue about that is stupid, okay? Because they believe it. What you're going to say, they also believe it. What happened after that is different, okay? But let's start there, that we received the Torah. There were 600,000 men, 600,000 women at least. Okay, they say there was even maybe 6 million people there. So at least a few million people stood at Mount Sinai, heard the Torah. That's our claim.
Those were Israelites.
Okay, so it was the Israelites, and there was even more. I think there was even twice as many. The Erev Rav was even bigger than that. Right? Other nations were there and witnessed this. Okay, so we claim that many people witnessed this, and throughout history, no one denies this. It's not something that I can just make up. We made up some story that this thing happened, somewhere there. Like there was a time, right? This passed down, so it happened. Now changing it, okay. One guy had a dream, one guy had a vision, two guys had a vision. Who knows? Okay, so they changed a new covenant.
There's a flying donkey in one of them.
Okay, flying donkey. But these are all based on testimonies of one or two people. Right? One or two people.
Flying camel.
Okay? Right? So to make a whole new covenant, it doesn't make sense. That Hashem gave the Torah to a few million people, in front of a few million people, and we all believe this, so let's stick with that. And we know we had prophets there. We experienced the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu. We had even had prophecy at Mount Sinai. So we know what prophecy is. We understand what that means. So rely on that. Rely on the prophets. Rely on Moshe. It makes sense. This is the HaRan getting in and trying to give us all these speculations and everything. Okay, so there's some notes here. So like I said, so Yisrael himself, we experienced Nevuah. Okay, I already said a few of these with the witnesses. Okay, fine. Okay, so that's the main thing, is to just to have faith, believe, we rely on the people before us. Okay, number 2 he says here, that when a person goes in simplicity, Rebbe Nachman is very into simplicity, being simple and not, into different chochmas, the different, what is it, chochmas?
Wisdoms.
Yeah, but not.
Of study.
Yeah, he has a different word. We're not being so complicated. Just being very simple. Emunah, have faith, without any chakiros, without any speculations. The Sichos sheyazor lo Hashem yizbarach sheyavel lebechinas ratzon shehu lamala mechochma. When a person goes in simplicity with emunah, then he can merit that Hashem will help him to come to the level of Hashem's will, ratzon. Because ratzon, right, ratzon is a very high level. Ratzon means will, Hashem's will. So that's higher than Chochma. Chochma is understanding. Okay? person once told me, I think it was Rav, what's his name? Balin. Rabbi Balin, of Balin. That emunah starts where logic ends. Faith starts where logic ends. The furthest distance is between your head and your heart. Right? So when a person merits faith, so that's above logic. And what's above logic? Ratzon. Hashem's will. Ratzon is the level of Keser. It's the highest Sphira. That's before creation. That's Ratzon. It's understanding Hashem's will. It's much higher than Chochma. So since Emunah, faith is above Chochma, it's above wisdom, then if a person has Emunah, then they can understand Ratzon. Hashem will help them understand Hashem's will, which is, really becoming closer to Hashem. Because in truth, Chochma of Kedusha, hu l'mala Emunah. The Chochma of Kedusha, it's higher than Emunah. So he's saying that Chochma, holy Chochma, is higher than Emunah, but nevertheless, we need not worry about Chochmas and Chakiros and speculations, only Emunah, because Emunah is something davar chazak mod. It's very strong. Because then when a person goes in Emunah, levad, only Emunah, if a person goes only in faith without any speculations and philosophies, then he merits to come to Bechinas Ratzon, Shulamala Afilu B'Chachma, which is higher than wisdom. The Hainu Sheyizke Shul Ratzon Muflag, that he'll get to the wondrous Ratzon, the wondrous will, very much of Hashem. Beishtogagus Nimratz Me'od Ajlo Yadem Malas was called Megodo Hishtogagus V'Yatzak. He'll have a lot of yearning for Hashem. Right? He'll just come to an unbelievable level. Just because he had simple Emunah, he come higher than Chochma. Okay, let's continue. However, if a person has doubts, has philosophies, has speculations, that it's in a person's heart, the Haino Baldavar, right? So that's the Yetzer Hara coming to him. The Yetzer Hara puts in a person doubt, puts in a person these crazy thoughts, crazy theories. We need to send it out. If a person starts to feel he's getting some doubt, some weird question, he has to get rid of it. He has to understand that's from the Yetzer Hara. The Garsh Maliba has to get rid of it from his heart, all the different theories and chakiras, and to strengthen himself in Emunah. And we should know, number 4 here, I don't know if you guys have the same numbers. We should know that there are also sins. There are some sins, machnas, kfiras ba'adam, there are some sins that bring skepticism into a person. That we have a holy soul, but when we do sins, it tamtim and nefesh. It dirties our soul and it dirties our seichel, and it puts these doubt into us because of our sins. Ve'sheba maleim machshavos al hamuna machma shelo nodol bekedusha karoi. Also, a person could have some doubt because he wasn't conceived properly. Let's say, the obvious one is, let's say if a person, the mother was not pure, she was Anita, or even if they went to the mikvah, all these people, they waited 7 clean days and all that, but let's say they had thoughts of lust. Right? A person, union of a man and wife, intimacy is not supposed to be from lust. It's supposed to be out of love and mitzvah of making children, etc. So if a person had lustful thoughts, so that also affects, right? That affects the conception, it affects the child. So sometimes doubts that people have could be just because they weren't conceived in holiness. And also a person's thoughts. Also, if a person has improper thoughts, even now, by having improper thoughts, the person can affect the way they think about things also. They could get thoughts in their head. Okay, like we said. So there is a lot to add on this. Many bad actions that people do, and they damage a person's faith. So he said there are some people that don't go after, they don't have the das, they don't have the knowledge to go after the holy books, like the Sefer Zohar. Some people are interested in the Zohar and the Kabbalah, even though they have wondrous new things. Wondrous things are spoken about them, but they're involved in other things, and it could be just because of their philosophies. So he said this is because of their what was messed up in their nature. That's bad because of their conception, or because they're not holy, because they don't have proper holy thoughts. So if this happens to a person, really he should know that he does have the power to break this. But since a person was born this way and he has to bear it, he has to work harder to break it. But a person has to know that it's not really the right nature, and that they can break through this and probably with a lot of prayer, etc., and trying to be holy. And he brings down here in Kitzur L'Kutei Moharan, he says like this: the main fulfillment and life force of Amunah, the main thing that can fuel faith, is Shmiras HaBris, is sexual purity. In all its forms, guarding our eyes, for women being modest, and man and wife, and only being intimate with a husband and wife. And when husband and wife are intimate, there's laws that need to be followed. So that's all part of sexual purity. So if people follow sexual purity, that helps with Emunah. He says here the main kfiris, skepticism and heresy that comes to a person, and that is a blemish in his Emunah, it's because of godless, because of haughtiness. Because a person that has haughtiness, it's him and Hashem cannot be in the same place. That's what the Gemara said. That me and him cannot be together. That's what Hashem says about a haughty person. We have to be humble. So it's because of godless, because of haughtiness, Hashem leaves from him. And once Hashem leaves, so then that's when the skepticism comes, and that's when all the heresy comes, because that fills the void. It created a vacuum. If a person is haughty, Hashem says goodbye, that creates a vacuum. So that's when all the heresy and the kfiras comes in. And Sefer Midas, it brings that through gaiva, person loses emunah, and also different sins bring this onto a person. And he specifically says what sins do this. So al yidei shvuas sheker, if a person makes a false oath, his faith can fall, his emunah falls. Through kina, if a person has jealousy, person falls in faith. And through too much ribu achila, too much eating, overeating, person also can lose faith. And al yidei chanufa, through flattery, a person comes to heresy. Okay, so these are things just showing here that different sins, can cause these things. A person, people might have these things, and we can't say, what if they really have questions, etc. So a lot of these questions are there just because a person is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. That really brings these things into themselves. Okay, so back on this topic about if a person was conceived not holy, or things are happening because of really what they did. So he says, for this a person needs a little shame. We need their shame, because a person that has skepticism and questions, he's saying he should be a little shamed. He should have shame for it. And he should be shamed very much. Nolad begashmis, because this is a indication that it came from begashmis kazeh o kesha'asa maisim keila. It's because they were conceived not in holiness, or because of the person's actions they themselves are doing not in holiness. So a person should know that if he has these questions, he's basically saying for sure it's because there was a problem there. whether it was a person's parents or whether it's themselves. So it's really something to be a little ashamed about. Okay, we're not talking again about simple questions that it's normal for a person not to know because they never learned it. We're talking about, like they said, these doubts that really come to bother people so much that they don't want to serve Hashem because it doesn't make sense, Kod Hashem Malik es kol haaretz, in the honor of Hashem, the glory of Hashem fills the whole world. Ki malak kol haaretz kivodi, because like it says in Yeshaya, and we say this in Kedusha, the whole world is filled with His glory. Ve'olav ba'im machshavos chas v'shalom negarsh v'lakram chas v'shalom, and since that happens, many bad thoughts might come. Negarsh v'lakram, they come to uproot, God forbid, Elokim Chaim, the living God. Asher hu chayim. So Hashem fills the whole world, but the Yetzer Hara or our bad actions bring these thoughts in our brain to get Hashem out of our thoughts. But Hashem is wholly uplifted. Ein tzarich levar gadol habusha shiroi shielo kishabayim olav machshavos kilu chas v'shalom v'al yidei busha v'leim nishmar al yidei zeh megarsh u'mishaber chakiros machshavos chanal. So he's saying we don't really need to go into any more about this, talking about the shame that it's fitting for a person to have. But you should just know, through shame and a broken heart, then a person can come to get rid of all these things. So we said before, though, depression is a tool of the Yetzer Hara. So what's a broken heart? Right? We spoke about this before, so it's important to have one where, especially in his bodhidus, talking to Hashem, it's good to come from a broken heart, but not depression. So what's the difference? So we said before, the depression is, there's nothing I can do. I'm down, I'm done, it's all over. Right? But a broken heart is, I'm down, I'm low, but Hashem, you can help me. Right? The main point is nishbar. Broken heart is that I'm down and I'm broken, but I know Hashem can help me. Atzvas, depression, is that there's no hope at all. That's from the Yetzer Hara. Ve'emes, number 5, ve'emes emunah hu inyan chazak me'od. Actually, I think there was a note here I wanted to do. Never mind, not here. Okay. So, but in truth, emunah hu inyan chazak me'od. And in truth, though, faith, it's very important. And it's very strong. V'chayev chazak me'od al yidei emunah. And in his life, Rebbe Nachman was very stark on this, very important. That a person should have faith even when different things are happening and bad things are happening to him, because it'll help a person get through hard times. The person has faith. The basic principle of Emunah is that everything Hashem does is for the good. Right? Everything Hashem does is for the good, Gamza Latova, all that. That when a person believes that everything that happens, the good and the bad, he has the emunah. Rebbe Nachman talks about other places that's also a taste of the world to come. That if a person can internalize that everything Hashem does is for the best, that's lights mein olam haba, because in the world to come we'll know that everything that happened in this world was for the best. So emunah, faith, is what can get a person through hard times, and able to console himself and to give himself life, to inspire himself, because Hashem is mercy on him, and in the end everything will be good. And really those Yisurim are for his good and for atonement, for whatever it is, whatever a person needs. In the end it's going to be good, in this world and in the next world. But a mechaker, but someone who has theories and questions and philosophies, that doesn't have faith, so when bad things then happen to him, then he has no way to be inspired, nothing to console him, nothing to get through it. If a person, an atheist, when they go through hard times, they have nowhere to turn. Right? But someone who has emunah, has faith, that can get them through everything. And a wise person will understand one thing from the other, and he'll understand that it's impossible really to say this all in writing. The main thing is to know that emunah, without any philosophies at all, that's it. To have faith without any crazy questions and everything, then he'll merit this world and the next world. Happy is he.